my room is a mess and I'm a little overwhelmed. I just put together a little cart for next to my bed. I'm not being a good vlogger right now. I just built a little cart. I've been really sick the past like month or so, and these past couple weeks have been getting worse. My medication list is getting longer. Yeah, so I'm just trying to make things more organized and easier for myself to preserve energy, I guess. So this is the situation that we're in. I need to get rid of this box. I also feel like I should be mic'd up. That would probably be more helpful for the audio, but I'm not gonna worry about that because if I do, it's probably gonna die on me anyway. I have this, so I need to just get situated. I also ordered a fanny pack, which I never thought I would do in my life, but that's just where we are in life. So can't wait for that to come tomorrow. Okay, I am kind of finished for now. This is just my temporary setup. So I have a lot of empty space at the bottom, and I need some more like clear acrylic bins for better organization. I call this a temporary setup because most likely anywhere between this next month and the next 2 to 3 months, I'll either be on a feeding tube, so I'll have formula for that, or if we find out my intestines are paralyzed, I'll be on DPN. So I needed space for all of that stuff, like the feed formula bags and the needles and the gauze and the alcohol wipes and medication vials and all of that stuff. So this is temporary. As the month / next 2 months go along, depending on how fast this process is expedited, as the next couple months go on, I'll be adding like supplies and organization and things, but I figured this would start me off. So if we're starting at the top, I've got just like my retainer, every night some pens. I'll probably put more stuff in that cup. Morning meds, night meds, cromolyn out, like still in their packages. I've got the rest of the box down there. My open package that I have is there, easy to reach. Most of my medications, these are just like my daily stuff. And then down here I have more like emergency or like one-time use stuff. So my EpiPen, like ginger chews, my extra maintenance inhaler. I have migraine meds in there. I have hormones that I've kept that I'm not currently on, but if for whatever reason I have breakthrough bleeding or something, or like a really bad endo flare and I need them, they're there. Water bottles, obviously, I keep most of them under my bed, but obviously this is closer to reach for me. The bag of Cheez-Its that I've been gnawing on for like 3 straight weeks. Element, I also haven't really been able to drink these either, but again, just in case I like am having a POTS attack, and I usually actually just take these like a pixie stick. It's easier than putting it in water for me. Chicken broth concentrate. There's also like, I'm gonna let you guys in on a little secret. I now buy ramen noodles just for the packets. Great POTS hack. That's a tastier version than just straight chicken broth. I can spice it up a little bit. And then I have just, this is like my like planning notebook. My Bible. I'll probably also put my Bible notebook down here, and then just pens. I've had this for a while, just my acupuncture pad, my massage gun. So yeah, that is the new development so far. I guess I kind of can do like a health update video. I want to make a short one. Will it be with this? We'll find out. I want to make a short one while I'm here. I have no energy, but I need 5 minutes at least to kill. I can give you guys a short rundown. So I actually don't remember the last thing I posted on my channel. But I know that I like already don't talk about my health a lot. I'll give a brief like from the beginning, but I'll go deeper into like what's going on right now. So 2020, I got the flu. I got the flu when COVID was still a novelty. I was at Disney World, Disneyland, whichever one is in Florida. Never going to Florida ever again in my life because of that. Tested positive for flu A, like I saw the test and everything. But because COVID was still a novelty, I obviously didn't get a COVID test. Flash forward, even within a few weeks, like I don't remember a lot of my life thanks to the chronic illness, brain fog, and just trauma responses. But I do remember like a few weeks after, like I just never felt right again. I was dealing with like mild pain and fatigue. But because I was also dealing with depression and terrible DPDR, I like couldn't fathom or understand or like really like get it in my brain that like I was having physical pain. I kind of just, I guess, like blew myself off for a little bit until it got obviously bad enough. It was really impacting me, and that's when I started asking, you know, my mom to like schedule doctor's appointments and stuff. That took a couple years to even get that process started, but yeah, like being out of high school, I really didn't like get very many answers. I do specifically remember in 2022 seeing a pediatric rheumatologist, and she diagnosed me with EDS and AMPS. And she didn't explain either of those conditions to me, so I really kind of blew them off as like, oh, she's like the fibromyalgia thing. Like, okay, people are gonna get sensitive. Not that fibromyalgia is not real. It felt incomplete as a diagnosis for me and what I was going through. So I pushed harder, and because there's not, at least in my scope and the doctors that I've seen, is kind of the label that you give the person who has all the negative tests. Like everything we test for comes back negative. All the labs look normal. You look for everything. You look for the MS. You look for meningitis. You look for all those things, and those tests come back negative, and your doctor says, because everything else looks great, I want to acknowledge your pain, but nothing else is wrong, so you have fibromyalgia. So I wasn't satisfied with that. And again, like, didn't get any like education on EDS or AMPS. So it just felt like a blow-off thing, and so I just kept searching and pushing. Some things happened in between, a lot of things that I don't really remember. High school, I'm pretty sure my senior year of high school, had my first seizure at school and was hospitalized. There I was diagnosed with FND. Again, not saying it's not a real condition, but that was not satisfying to me. And actually, she didn't call it FND when she diagnosed me. She said it was conversion disorder. She was telling me that basically, she didn't even say like, oh, your brain or your body. She said, you are converting your stress into these physical and psychological symptoms. And so that felt dismissive, and I was not satisfied with that. Fast forward, fibromyalgia is still in my chart again, because it's not a fake condition, it's an explanation. But again, I've always known that there's no way, like, it's just that. I do not have FND. I have hypermobile Ehlers-Danlos syndrome. I have endometriosis, which I was diagnosed with actually before I moved here, so summer of 24. I have POTS. What else do I have? Asthma. I've known that since I was in the 3rd grade. I actually have my list. I don't even like bother trying to remember them anymore. Endometriosis, HEDS, gastroparesis, which I was just diagnosed with like 2-3 weeks ago. Mast cell activation syndrome. I said POTS, reflux, and asthma. Gastroparesis, so that's like the biggest thing that I'm dealing with right now, because it's affecting my entire body. I've been in a bad endometriosis flare for quite a few months, but my mast cell activation syndrome has been the worst. Summer this year, like, actually almost took me out. I was in Jersey on summer mission, and Jersey's humid. But I'm from mainland South Jersey. I am not from the shore. And we spent the entire summer on the shore. So being in, an early 1900s beach house next to the shore was like the worst thing I probably could have done. The house definitely had mold. We were living in the basement, which had windows and stuff, but didn't have a central like AC unit. So there's no regular like airflow, and if you're opening the windows, you're just letting in more moisture. Yeah, there was definitely mold in that basement. We couldn't see it, but knowing how my symptoms were versus how I am at home in dry Colorado, I knew that definitely had to be a part of it. So I came home and did an allergen test. We didn't even do the whole panel. We did the foods that I suspected. So I did a lot of after every time I eat this, I get this huge list of symptoms. So we did like beef and eggs, and we did the nuts and all that stuff. Lit up like a Christmas tree. Food, environmental, and mold. So that started to make sense. Anyways, where was I going? Brain fog. I'm so tired. So general allergies are completely different than mast cell activation syndrome. Mast cell just has like no testing. The one test that doctors do use to diagnose only looks at like one component of all of the things that your mast cells release. It's a blood test, and everything, like, it came back negative. So, but you have to have like such a high level for it to be recognized. And tryptase, again, is not the only thing your mast cells release. The allergist was saying that she doesn't think mast cell. They were actually supposed to reorder the test and never did. So when I saw my EDS specialist, was talking to her about it, and obviously all of my symptoms, she was like, yeah, you have mast cell, you definitely have it. So we started on the cromolyn, which I'm actually really excited about because I've heard great things. I say all that to say, the gastroparesis, I've known that it's comorbid with HEDS, but I haven't really like bothered to look into it too much or like pursue that or anything. I know I'm a slow eater, and I know I have been for a while. I know that my appetite is like pretty suppressed, but I used to just blame that on braces. When I got braces in the 8th grade, only being able to eat yogurt and applesauce definitely like shrinks your stomach a little bit. So I always blamed it on that, but looking back on a lot of things, it actually makes sense. Unfortunately, now my gastroparesis is so extreme that I started having like completely unbearable symptoms. And then I started noticing that like I was losing weight, like I could tell. So that's when I started to get concerned that it was more than mast cell, but didn't know what to do about it. So I brought that to my PCP, and she ordered a gastric emptying study. And the same day that I took it, I found out that my stomach is severely paralyzed. I go to call my GI. Their next appointment's not until January. I go to call CU Anschutz, that GI center in Denver. They were booking out until April. Then I called somebody else who's, I think, an hour and a half away from me. They're December 23rd, to be exact. Christmas Eve, yay. But it was the soonest that I had heard so far, so I kind of was just like, yeah, just put me on there and put me on a wait list. So, as of right now, it's looking like I won't see GI until late December. I can't even start like a feeding tube or TPN in December. I have to do a test. Well, I am forcing my doctors to do a test. Hopefully that would be their first intuition, but if it's not, I'm not moving forward without like a smart pill or something that can read how my intestines are emptying. Because if the same paralysis is affecting my intestines, then just doing a GJ tube or a J tube is not going to be helpful to me. It's going to cause me more pain and delay my treatment. I'm probably going to lose more weight waiting. So I need to figure out if my intestines are paralyzed as well. The hope that's actually very close is that after seeing my EDS specialist, like literally best appointment I've ever had in my life, she's fantastic. She got me a referral to like an insane general surgeon who like literally does all of the things and like is so well versed, including gastroparesis. So I see him on Monday, which is so exciting because I just had my appointment with her on Thursday. Today? The office called yesterday afternoon, and I scheduled with him, and it's on Monday, so yay. I'm not referred to him because of the gastroparesis. I'm actually referred to him to see if I have SMAS, which I forget what that stands for and what it is, or to see if I have median accrete ligament syndrome, I believe both are conditions of your blood vessels, specifically the blood vessels in your stomach, that obviously, like, the gastroparesis explains most of my symptoms, also compounded by my MCAS, but specifically my feeling of heart palpitations, and it's a like an episode almost like low blood pressure, but on steroids. Like, I get a feeling like I want to crawl out of my body, just like a super like full, almost like gut punch feeling. Like, every time I eat, I really feel like somebody has like just absolutely punched me in my stomach. Those could be two conditions on my radar, either one or both. So I'm referred to him to do testing for that, because only he is able to, like, very few people are able to do that, and he knows how to do the testing for that. But as I was like looking, he's a private practice, and as I was looking at his website, he also is super well versed in gastroparesis. So hoping that when we do that test, he'll also do my intestines test, and then just like be able to take my case for gastroparesis. Like, it just all goes together. So hopefully I won't have to wait until December 23rd, and hopefully it'll actually be really, really soon that I start treatment. I'm literally living on a prayer. But yeah, there's just also like so many things. I am switching PTs. I'm like, what else are we looking at? I'm going back through my appointment notes because she was just so thorough, which was fantastic. Yes, we're doing, with her, I'm doing EMG testing, which is basically like neuropathy testing. Just testing your nerves. She said the problem with that is that EMG testing specifically only tests your larger nerve fibers, so like the branch fibers, not the smaller ones that come off of that. So she referred me to a doctor who can do the small fibers. So yeah, I'm going to someone to specifically do a small fiber neuropathy test, which is just like a skin punch biopsy. Well, yeah, the one that's doing the small fiber skin biopsy, she's neurology. I have another doctor. I don't remember, but everybody's gonna call me. Everything's organized. I'm not losing track of anything, which is good. I spent like all of yesterday just organizing all of that stuff, and yeah, like ordering my meds in the cart and just like getting organized. Yeah, I did labs today that did not come back well. I actually have too much iron in my blood, and I have too much vitamin D, which a few months ago I was deficient. So now I have too much, so we're just cutting back my vitamin D and hoping that it'll correct itself, but we have to monitor that. And then the too much iron, because of what we looked at, it's actually hinting to either liver cirrhosis, something else with my liver, or something. So when I had to go back to get the second test, I had to go get HFE, which is a genetic marker, and I'm trying to remember what, hemochromatosis. So within the next couple days I'll find out if I have that. Yeah, I actually forget what it is at this point. I was like researching earlier, but it's a genetic condition. Obviously, like a lot of genetic mutations, it can live dormant, but because I'm getting the markers of what comes with that, we're concerned that I'm in liver failure. So that's fun, to say the least. The high iron thing could very much be a part of my hormone medications. I don't have periods anymore because I have endometriosis. We are suppressing my periods because estrogen production basically expedites the process of my endometriosis making its own lesions and blood supply and nerve supply and all of that. So we try to minimize that. So obviously if I'm not bleeding, the only way that you can get rid of iron is to bleed, or to basically get like the opposite of a blood transfusion. Like you can like donate blood. Yeah, so because I'm not bleeding as frequently, that could be a lot of the reason for my iron storage. But again, considering the fact that I'm getting maybe like 300 to 500 calories a day, liver failure or any organ failure is the next thing. So I don't know. I feel it feels weird to like be recording it and not be, you know, like to be like, I'm light. I feel I'm light about it right now, but you guys have definitely missed all of the grieving and crying and late nights literally with God in prayer. I am in the process of withdrawing from school for the semester, not permanently. I am going to finish my degree, but yeah, the Lord has commanded me to slow down, like a lot. And honestly, I've been asking for it. I didn't think it would come like this, but yeah, I'm physically having to slow down. I think, especially when it comes to my education and just achievements overall, I'm very much like, pile it on, let me get it done. Like, I would love to say that I'm someone who doesn't fall for accolades or recognition, but I actually thrive off of that stuff. I thrive off of being able to like prove something. Yeah, I love being known for being able to get things done, or, you know, yeah, like hard course loads or whatever, but yeah, part of that is like actually killing me. And, you know, graduation becomes a lot less important if you can't make it there. So, not to be morbid, but that's the reality I've had to face. So I'm slowing down, I'm pulling back. I've grieved it, I'm still grieving it some moments. It's very uncomfortable to sit still. I've known that about myself, which is why I don't let myself sit still. But I'm also taking this as a learning opportunity. Like, I refuse to let this trial pass by and gain nothing, like, in the spirit. Anyways, there's a lot on the radar, and I'm just trying to stay alive. But yeah, every day is at least a teeny bit different. Like today, I've been in much better spirits. Yeah, I'm just feeling optimistic and feeling very close to God, which is just like the best thing ever. And yeah, I'm actually gonna get in the bed now. Oh, I need to take off. My heart monitor comes off today. Yay. So we ordered this for my POTS just to see like actually how bad things are. This is actually my second one. The first one was defective, so we only got 2 days of a read, and then I had to take it off and send it back after 2 days. And then it was like pulling teeth to get this one again. Got it. It's been on for 2 weeks, so I actually need to take this off, which I'm so excited because that means tomorrow morning I have to work tomorrow. I get to work tomorrow, yay. Tomorrow morning, I get to have a full body shower. I've been taking full body showers, but I have to like hold a rag, like a dry rag over it, because it's water resistant. It's not waterproof. So I'm excited to take a shower with both of my hands working.